start here. Let's just... Let's just get into it. There's no more avoiding this topic. I've tried to keep it light, and I've tried to have levity. But it's time. James Younger is a little kid. A little kid in Texas whose mom was in a custody battle. All right? In a custody battle. And the mom says James's name is Luna. The mom says James's name is Luna. I think James is 8, 9, something like that. Was 7 when this started. And the mom wanted to transition James to Luna medically. And so the dad said, to hell with that shit. That's my boy, James. Or whatever. And this kind of became a big case that's out there. And there's a lot. I'll probably do like a dedicated video or something on it. Maybe going through the whole thing at some point. We're not going to do that all today. We're going to go through this article because I don't have enough wax to put between my teeth. But this case is now over, and the court has awarded full custody to the mom, but requires permission for puberty blockers and gender surgeries. All the dad's other rights are stripped. All of the dad's other rights are gone. So, but that's just the puberty blockers and gender surgeries. She can still, she dresses the kid up in a dress. Dresses him like a female, and yeah, it's Texas judge has granted full custody of 8-year-old James Younger to his mother, who's fought publicly to transition her son into a girl against the father's wishes. Whoops. I'm gonna move my screen over here so I can see this. Read it here. Judge Mary Brown granted full custody to Ann Georgelis in an order on Tuesday, awarding the mother exclusive control over James's primary residence, counseling, medications, education, and extracurricular activities. Counseling, by the way, is an important one here. It allows Georgelis to withhold information from Jeff Younger, James's father, regarding the children's extracurricular activities, school functions, school enrollment, counseling, and medical care. So the dad doesn't even get access to counseling and medical care. I don't know what the dad is alleged to have done. I genuinely don't know. But to strip this away from a parent usually takes an extraordinary act of cruelty from one parent. Like, this is, I'm not saying this guy did anything. I just want to put that down as perspective for what usually is required. I haven't seen the allegations in here that would lead to this. However, while Georgelis has the exclusive right to consent to James's medical procedures, the order notes that the power does not extend to hormone suppression therapy, puberty blockers, or transgender reassignment surgery. But again, the counseling. And this is one of the arguments that the mom was taking him to gender-affirming counseling, which means that they just counsel you into the gender you want to be in. Not that they affirm the gender you are born with, but they affirm the gender that the mom wants because his kid's fucking 8. What? This kid is 8. 8-year-olds are not making complex life choices on their gender. You can't convince me otherwise. There's no one you could parade 5,000 doctors in front of me to say, "Oh no, 8-year-olds are deeply in tune with their gender." And I'll say, 8-year-olds are memorizing Pokemons, and I'll smash them with a sledgehammer. That's it. I'm so tired of this shit. This is bogus. It's fake. It's a myth. Someone just made it up. A gender studies major literally made all of this up. They created it. It's a fiction that they created for their own agenda. And we're supposed to all walk around pretending like this is real or that it's scientifically or medically based. It's not based. It's not based on anything. It's literally fiction. Mr. Obi-Wan says, Rackets, have you seen the TikTok where mom wants to make her son get a vasectomy at 14? Killer. In Minecraft or whatever. Euthanizer. That's child abuse. What are these people talking about? What is going on? Why? When did we have to start pretending that reality wasn't real? We're all just supposed to walk around as if we're just idiots. I don't know. And well, how can you not believe that this kid can pick his gender? And like, the kid can't even pick out clothes. That's why the mom dresses him like a girl. I have an 8-year-old. I wouldn't trust them to make decisions about their gender. They have to be supervised cooking eggs. They have to be supervised cooking eggs. But you know what? I would like to let you know that I'm the opposite gender of my birth. After much reflective thought, while I was watching YouTube videos on how to make slime in the home, I came to the conclusion that I'm actually a different gender. Shut up. I mean, again, we've all just got to pretend that kids aren't. If kids are left alone at 8 for more than like an hour, it is child abuse. If CPS finds out that, oh, you left your 8-year-old home alone for like 3 hours, that's child abuse because the child might die from being a child. Just from being a kid, you know, I don't know, plug in an iron and drop it on themselves. Who knows? Take a toaster in the bathtub. Who knows what they're going to do? They're kids. The other day, I was doing something. Lady Raggets walks out. My 8-year-old is standing there with Drexel's daughter, who I don't remember how old she is, but somewhere around that age. I don't know. They're standing there with the burner on high, and they've got a pot with water going. And Lady Ragged's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, we're making perfume. You mean you're making perfume? Well, yeah, you just take this water and you heat it up and put a flower in it. That's not perfume. That's tea. That's not what you're 8. You don't know how to make perfume. You know how I know you don't know how to make perfume? Because I'm 40 almost, and I don't know how to make perfume. I thought you just squeezed roses. Like you hired a big burly guy to just crush roses in his fists until oils come out, and that's how you make perfume. It's certainly not from putting a flower in water. But this is the cognitive ability of an 8-year-old. They're like, oh yeah, so perfume's a liquid that smells like flowers. So we take a liquid that we have readily available and we put flowers in it. Bam, perfume. Makes sense. That's the logic of an 8-year-old. It's beautiful. Concrete thinking is actually something that is wildly, wildly undervalued, and kids do it in spades. You can find this all over the place when you check out those things like, take this test that kindergartners pass, but you won't because you're stupid. And it's like, it's like, how do you get an elephant in a refrigerator, right? Is one of the questions. And the adults are like trying to measure it out, trying to figure out how you chop up an elephant, all this stuff. And a kid's like, you open the door and you put the elephant in the refrigerator and then you close the door. It's easy. Oh yeah, it's concrete linear thinking. Kids are wonderful at it. It's why they're this is going to sound horrible, but it's why they're manipulable by religion or by religious advocates who aren't careful, because they can make children believe basically anything. This is how the thing went, and there you go. That's all there is to it. But these issues are more complicated, and gender is the same thing. Hey, what's up, Samantha Flynn? Says you're really giving me shenanigans to look forward to when Quentin and I eventually have children. Oh, they're great. They're absolutely great. And but yeah, you can convince. Okay, Drexel and I have talked a lot of times about our man M, one of my best friends, and he has 2 cousins who are a little younger than him. And M decided to convince one of his cousins that their family had the special super ability to walk through walls. All right? He told him, he's like, yeah, once you reach a certain age and your power will mature within you, and then you can walk through walls. But you have to really try. So this kid goes just barreling full bore into the wall. and he's dying laughing. He's like, oh, your powers must not have come to maturity yet. Right? Because this is the cognitive ability of a child. They're not making gender decisions on what their gender identity is, because gender identity isn't real to them. We can argue if it's even real. I'll say no. Gender identity is pretend. That's all. All you're doing is pretending. Have fun. By the way, I don't care if you pretend. Pretend all you want. You could be whatever you want. Identify as Superman. I don't give a shit. But if you try to fly and it fucks up, don't blame me. It's not my fault. I don't mind. I don't hate people. I don't disdain them or anything like that. People, that's what liberty is. It's freedom. But you can't do this to kids, though. You can't do this to kids. Because kids don't understand that it's pretend. And kids don't have the capacity to actually make these types of life-altering decisions. Oh my gosh. Okay. Back to this. I think this is where I got off on my rant. Or no, it was down here. But yeah, so can't do gender reassignment surgery or puberty blockers, but the counseling's still there. And the counseling's happening at a gender affirming clinic. And worse off, she doesn't even have to tell the dad. So he won't have the ability to know to actually object to what's going on. That's the other thing. Since she's not required to give James's dad any information, and since James's dad isn't allowed to see the kid or make those decisions, well, How would he know? How's he going to know to complain? Oh, yeah, he won't. He won't. So if this mom walks into a clinic and says, I want puberty blockers for my kid, unless the clinic knows the case off the top of their head, what's going to stop them? And even if they do know the case, what's going to stop them? At that point, they don't have a duty to the court to investigate whether she got adequate permission. Mither and Emrys says, and of course the answer will be not. Mom et al. Will be so shocked when Luna decides to take up permanent residence in Minecraft. This is abuse, pure and simple. It is. This is abuse. The high-profile custody case has played out publicly for years as Georgios has insisted that her son identifies as a girl named Luna. Again, 8 now. 8 now. But this has played out for years. So 6 when this started? 5? Younger has disagreed, saying that James chooses to present himself as a boy at his house, even though he keeps feminine clothes in his son's closet as an option. Georgios claims that James chose the name Luna after expressing the desire to be a girl at a young age by showing preference for female pronouns and Disney princesses. Well, shocker. If you show him a bunch of Disney cartoons that involve princesses, can I make the joke? Look, as a kid, I had a preference for Disney princesses too. Come on. What are we doing here? What are we talking about? Liking Disney princesses does not a trans make. Does not make someone trans because they like Disney princesses. There's a phase in your life where Disney movies, especially depending on how old you are, that was a lot of what you watched, and the overwhelming majority of them had some sort of princess as the heroine. Rekieta Law unironically had crushes on Disney princesses. Look, man, Ariel got them legs eventually. What are you going to do about it? I mean, there's only so much. There's only so much. Okay. However, Younger argues that James's transgender status is contrived and says he has a video of James as a 3-year-old saying that mommy told him he was a girl. I believe this 100%. The ruling says that Younger, quote, failed to make timely make the payments of child support, medical support, and interest as ordered, and only paid his past due support after the motion for enforcement was filed. This, can I get an amen, is not a basis for stripping a father of his rights. This is not an adequate basis for stripping parental rights from someone. Insanity. Insanity. But here's the worst part. He disagrees with this. Fun how that works. The prior orders that Ms. Georgios must notify Mr. Younger of doctors, counseling, or medical health appointments or extracurricular activities for the children are lifted in an effort to ensure the emotional well-being and physical safety of the children. How does that ensure the physical safety and emotional well-being of the children, by the way? The court orders that all of Mr. Younger's possession periods shall be continuously supervised by forensic counseling services at Mr. Younger's sole cost and expense. So anytime he wants to see his own kids, continuously supervised by forensic counseling services. and he gets to pay for it. The ruling comes after Georgilis argued in a virtual hearing 1 month ago that her child's gender identity was just tangential to the custody case. Oh, it's just a side issue. And the court believed her. This is not about the child's gender issues, Georgilas' attorney Jessica Janicek said, according to the Texan. This is just a high conflict custody case, and you're going to hear a lot of issues with regards to Jeff's parenting abilities. However, Jeff Younger argued that James's gender identity is central to the case and that the accusations against him are a result of his unwillingness to treat his son as a girl. Quote, to downplay that this is but for the gender issue is absolutely misleading and wrong. This is all about the gender issue in this case, and it's about the parents' ability to cope with and deal with this situation, Younger's attorney David Hanshin said, according to the outlet. Georgilis' team claimed that Younger has refused to carry out court orders, including required counseling and educational decisions. They also said the father has repeatedly been late on his child support payments, though Younger disputes that allegation, claiming he made payments on time, but the Attorney General's office was late in disbursing them. By the way, I have seen this happen. I have seen this happen. So, when you have certain types of child support cases, a lot of child support is paid directly to the spouse. And then if a payment doesn't come in or payments are consistently late, the spouse can raise a cause of action to the state and say, hey, they're not doing their thing. If the parties agree, instead of that, the dad can make payments directly to the state, and the state can then distribute those payments to the mom. The dad pays by a certain date, and then the state pays out to the mom. The problem, of course, comes when the state pays late for whatever reason. Who knows why? It's the state. They're incompetent at literally everything that they do. So who knows why they pay late, but they do. From time to time, it happens. This is what Jeff Younger's attorney is saying. Nope. The Attorney General's office was late in dispersing the payments. Doesn't surprise me a bit. I would not be shocked to find out that that happened. Younger said he does not object to the counselors, but feels the system has been gained. You can't object to the counselors. At some point, this is a problem. Right? This is the way family court is a vice, especially against dads who are losing a case. No, I don't feel like I should have to pay counselors to watch my kids. Oh, well, then you're not really interested in the child's best interest, are you? Because how could you possibly refuse counselors? How could you object to the brilliant idea of having a 24-year-old with a bachelor's degree in psychology, double majoring in basket weaving? How could you object to having that person telling you how you should parent your female gender affirming 8-year-old? And if you think I'm making, there was a fantastic King of the Hill episode on this issue. Did you guys ever see it? The wafy social worker from LA moved to Arlen, Texas, and got a job at the county social services, right? And Bobby's playing softball. Bobby takes a line drive to the eye. Bam! As kids do. He gets a big black eye. And the social worker gets a bug up his ass that Hank has been beating Bobby. And the social worker's like coming after Hank all these different ways. And then eventually the social worker is talking to his boss, and he says, yeah, you know, the Hill case, we've got this. I think there might be some abuse there. There's the dad claims that his kid got hit by a baseball, but we know what happened. And the social worker's boss is like, "Oh, did you talk to Larry then?" It's like, "Who's that? Bobby's little league coach?" And then the next scene is like that social worker on a bus back to Los Angeles. Because that's who ends up counseling you. Harvey, not Larry. I don't remember the name. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. This is my thing. This is why, by the way, I object to young attorneys like Attorney Tom, this little Attorney Tom guy running around. I object to young attorneys in the same way. I don't understand how a person who goes from junior high to high school to undergrad to law school comes out, then helps someone navigate a divorce. Like, I don't get it. Like, you're 24 and you're an idiot. You have no idea how relationships work. You don't know what went into this marriage. You don't know the level of commitment these people had, what it took to break that down. You never dealt with any of this stuff. And in the same way, you've got these counselors, these social work majors. They come out of their undergrad, guys. These are bachelor's degrees. They come out 23, 24 years old, and they're telling parents how to parent children. And I mean, to the point where the state says, yeah, you can't actually parent a child without the advice of this 24-year-old who still can't make a bowl of Crispix without burning it. Like, but you can't object to him at some point. Because if you're objecting, then you're objecting to the best interest of your child. That was the first episode of King of the Hill. Oh my God. I didn't remember. I just remembered it was early on because I only really watched the early on ones. When the child is brought to the counselors, the child comes from mother's custody and is always dressed up as a little girl. Dad only has possession on Fridays, and neither of the two professionals have office hours on Fridays. And so he thinks, and I would agree with him, that it's really quite unfair that the presentation of the child to the counseling system is only done under the auspices and control of one parent, Hanshin explained. Parents also raised disagreements about their son's haircut length and schooling. While Georgilus takes the boy to public school, Younger wants him to be homeschooled because he is concerned the school encourages James's feminine identity. So there's the case. That's the Save James case. It's rough. I wonder if I could talk to the dad or the attorney on that one. Something needs to happen.